Hey, we about done with this fucking music. So what's going on, folks? Man, oh man. So this is actually the old setup to how my streams used to be, when letting people know that we were having conversations in Discord. But I mean, like, we're always having conversations. You just can't see them. Or can you? So here's something that's real funny, folks. When I tell you about people who get on the internet and pretend to be somebody they're not, there's sometimes really good examples, and sometimes when I explain things, it really doesn't put it into effect, right? So you have to it's one of the things where you have to be there. Here's one of the things that I find absolutely fucking hilarious. Someone drew this to my attention. I just came from a developmental biology class, so got out a little early, so you know what? Why not? So here, let me play a little bit of this, because we have a whole host of characters here, and we have on the far left over there the cult leader himself, Syphilis Santa. But on the regular panel over there with the peons, we got quite a few people. Some of I have no idea who these people are, but I see 62 IQ. Hello, Cheshire. How you doing? From now on, folks, she will be referred to as 62 IQ. If you are fucking stupid enough to say that secondhand smoke does not present obvious health risk after at least 60 years of fucking research, you probably have a 62 IQ. That being said, let me play this, because this here is precious.
I have had a bit of enough of this shit, because that's not the first threat that I've gotten from this. I've gotten threats from my now ex-girlfriend that was given out by Holy Spackle. And it said something along the lines of, I don't want to be involved. I don't want anything to do with it. But if this type of shit persists, I'm going to release, quote, a tsunami of information that Red's rhetoric would not appreciate if it got out. Well, this is my final fucking rebuttal to this, because I know where that image came from, because the only other person there was Hana. And I know where Agrippa got his information to, because the only person that knew about it was Hana. We had a very bad breakup.
Now, how did people know about that breakup? Oh, the man-child decided to publicly announce it and let his swarm of fucking incels in on it, because that's what you do. That's what an adult does when you have a real life breakup. You go to YouTube and tell all your little fans about it. But go on.
Tried to keep her name out of my throat. I have tried to not acknowledge her existence. I have tried over and over and over again. There was a lot of shit that happened in the past that, quite frankly, I would like to forget. I would like to forget that shit that happened in the past even fucking happened, that ever fucking occurred. I just want to move on with my fucking life. But this keeps getting brought up and used as a threat against me to keep me silent.
To keep him silent.
So let me make this very fucking clear.
Why are we listening to the low testosterone
if there is
Florida
a
man?
tsunami of
I know that's not
information
specific.
out there,
Why?
Oh, it's important. Listen to this.
Great. I'm fucking happy for you. But what I have in my side of things,
check this out, folks,
is the Tsar Bomba of information. Information that some people would also appreciate if it actually got out. What I have is a document, 20 pages long, written in 9-point font, that goes over everything that happened, along with pictures, text messages, financial receipts, and interviews of people who were actually there to witness the shit go down.
Oh,
whatever you may
Who did you interview, Red? Your friend A2 Productions, you idiot.
Interviews of
Lord,
what?
Who taught me everything I know about the dangers of seconded.
Can you pause and
narrative?
Is he talking about the Jade Memorial?
So he sat and made a 9-page fucking document detailing all the fucking things that happened that he didn't like, with replete with interviews and pictures and text messages and shit and receipts, folks. That's his Tsar Bomba.
This is his interview. He's gonna be like, Steve, did I or did I not call you that night and cry?
Who the fuck does that?
Is he gonna have Is he going to have a nurse on hand when he releases it so he can, just in case he has an emotional breakdown?
Why does he sound like an Austin Powers villain?
But okay, so like, I don't
Deidre
run in,
tried to talk sense into me. Oh my God.
Despite my field, I don't run into this type of autism regularly. So can someone explain, is this as bonkers as it sounds? Like, yes. I just got out of the gym because I don't want to look like
this.
Like
so the same dude, Sam, the same guy who could not.
Holy fuck!
The same guy who could not stand
the fuck
next to the guy he'd had a disagreement with and actually communicate with him, went home in the darkness of his fucking dank fucking Florida room and sat down and wrote a document, right? Like that. Does that, like,
how
you
long
have got to be kidding me.
I wonder how long he's been working on this document.
Probably but look, he lives in his own weird realm where this is how you handle situations, right? This is the extent, and he's upset. He's scared, folks. This is scared, okay? This is scared.
He knows he's been out trying to fuck with people here. Yeah.
Yeah, well, he thinks that like shit like that intimidates people. It doesn't. Like, that's fucking silly. Like, I got
what
here too.
Wait,
okay.
But like, what documents could he have from that trip? Oh, he went to some mediocre burger place in San Francisco. Like, what financial fucking documents? Like,
maybe he
fucking bought somebody a hamburger, and this is how much he spent. Like
spent money on her.
I mean, I'm sure if I dug through it, I have our like hotel receipt. Like, there's nothing interesting. Like, I struggle to know. Like,
this all. I guarantee you, there'll be a GoFundMe. It'll be for Red's medical treatment because
I mean, it might have not been interesting for you, but you know that Groove and I did go out on our own, away from the wolf pack, and we did go to an S&M. Oh wait, no, never mind. Nothing happened.
Uh oh, folks.
Dun, dun, dun.
Like, does this sound like the fucking trappings of a well-adjusted adult to you? To anybody?
Sounds like you lost an internet argument.
This is some
I feel like we're in an old school
shit.
hangout. Is it 2013 again? What's going on?
Who's what? It's a czar bomb. Bitch, sit down. You could even talk to another grown man in real life.
But I'm very curious as to like what's in this document that's like.
Maybe it's just the notes from his fucking therapist. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
I don't. But like, okay,
like, how the fuck can you read it?
Oh my God, is that 13?
That's 13 even.
Yes, that's 13.
13. It has been.
Welcome,
like,
13. It's been
long.
forever.
I just had to come in here and sing OCD man. Anyway.
Hello,
also, you guys. Also, Drag, I don't know why you're like you live streaming is the fucking kiss of death from my car. Someone nearly just zoomed around a corner and hit me, and then asked me why you don't have to fucking give you middle fingers. Like, bitch, you nearly hit me. What do you?
Please don't kill the people in my city. Thank you very much, Sam.
Well, how about the people in your city learn how to fucking drive? Good God, like it's not hard. That. Like, it is not hard. Like, I don't know, you just suck. Like, it's like when you're on the road and you just see someone and they just suck. Like,
well, it's good to have final confirmation that you do not suffer from road rage.
Oh, he does. Yes, the fuck he does. Yes.
Did I tell you about the time on the trip? Here's an expose on Sam and his driving. And
careful! Somebody might take notes on it.
They take some notes.
Yeah,
So Sam pulls up and Drag comes running up to me, hugging me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, tall guy. He's trying to hug me. Holy crap. What do I do? Try not to act like I have autism and try to hug him back. and then I try to get into the car. We throw my luggage in the back. And as I'm trying to get into the car, and Xavier too, Sam just starts taking off. Like, door's not shut. Half of my leg is inside the car. The other half's not. And he's taking off.
Those were two separate occasions.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah, and then he did it a second time at the gas station to Xavier.
Oh, come on. You heard little Flintstone legs going. I'm sure you had plenty of forewarning.
I think I went, hey! or something. I don't know.
I just want to say hello. Just want to say hi.
What's going on, PG?
Positively godless.
Like this.
Hello.
I just part of me like there's so many things running through my head. Like this is the same guy who could not talk out his issues with people he had no issues with, right? He couldn't actually do that. Like I've seen grown men come to blows, or almost come to blows, and then sit down and talk about it. Like that's what I see men do. But at every opportunity for him to show that he is a somewhat well-adjusted adult, he behaved like a petulant goddamn child. And everybody, even people who aren't part of his community, said the same thing. He is a goddamn child. But when he comes on the internet, he loves to pretend like he's some fucking big dude. I will hit you in your fucking throat, right? Like that's like I'm just being honest with you. And
they're gonna just play that on repeat now. You know that, right?
He was gonna. It's a don't take that seriously, dude.
It's a turn of fucking phrase, and
it's a turn.
It's just honestly like it's fucking childish. Because like what happened when they immediately start talking about it? Like people neglect in his version of the story, right? Like he neglects that he is deathly afraid of peer review, which I don't know why. Anyone who's ever met him in person, he is the most docile, friendly, has the least tolerance for weed of any human being I've ever met. It's absurd. We're not going to go into that right now.
Give him weed and he'll start philosophizing to your wall. Like literally he's in my room philosophizing to my wall.
It's like the -1 of autism, like times 6 minus 7. Like
it's conflict.
The equation makes no sense. But
it's conflict.
No, it makes perfect sense.
But the point being is like I heard that there were major complaints about me. It's like I purposefully, and I remember talking to Drag, because Drag was part of my caravan. It was me, Drag, and Xavier. And I said, like, he's going to act this way. I forbade him. He's going to act this way. Well, fuck him. I'm not even going to interact with him.
Yeah, we actually had to plan out the people that were going to be in his van for the second ride, because like we were like, okay, let's get all the non-confrontive people and the people that didn't have problems. So it was like me at the time, Fiona, Hannah Anderson, who is not his ex, a different Hannah. All these people like that we carefully planned so that way nobody could possibly trigger this guy. He'd have the smoothest experience ever.
You know what we on the internet call someone who we need to bend over backwards in order to avoid triggering?
G-Man?
A snowflake.
He is a snowflake.
Yeah,
Redline is a snowflake. Yeah, so, folks, just so y'all understand, like, because this thing keeps getting brought up, we had to change seating arrangements on the trip to cater to Red's fucking sensitivities,
and room arrangements
to cater to his fucking sensitivities, right? Because he could not resolve anything because he's a fucking child.
We had to actually plan ahead and have people assigned to break up a fight should he take a swing at somebody.
Drag, I know what like if he swung, his shoulder would dislocate. Now, you know what the receipts are? I figured it out.
What is it?
So he initially booked the van, then got cold feet, and then rebooked it again. That's the receipt. Because he's a fucking idiot who wanted to insert himself into the middle of everything while being antisocial. He wants us to like, bitch, do you want sympathy? I drove fucking more than halfway up my state. Like, okay, like do you want a cookie for renting a car?
That's the most social he's been in years. All right, Sam, you need to be courteous. Just be understanding, right? The kid does not have a lot of social skills. Like, look, think about this for a second. I want to put this into perspective. This bitch couldn't even go back to school and finish the thing that he kept bragging about for years, right? Because his breakup was so fucking traumatic that it sent him into such a weird headspace that he couldn't do it. His little fucking heart couldn't take it. But this is the same guy who gets on the internet and abuses the shit out of other folks and calls them fucking idiots for not being able to do basic geometry that he learned himself. Congratulations. But think about this. He took all that time to write, a 20-page document, a 9-point fault, and document all this and that. What if, and this is just a hypothetical because I know he loves those, how about you take all that fucking effort and put it into something constructive like your education? Maybe you'd be something better than life than Steve's bitch. That's just me.
That would help. That would help Reds. being his bitch is not good for you.
Okay, that sounds nice and all, but you do realize that would require pulling Steve's dick out of his ass, right?
I don't think I think that it needs to be up there. I think that's the only way Reds can actually do anything in life is
Are you
Steve's
saying
dick
that he's kind of like a popsicle with one of those popsicles with a little flop? I don't know. Never mind.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like once you put your efforts into something constructive, like making internet threats and shit like that, aren't really working out for you. Some of us know who you are in real life, and that wasn't a tacit threat.
Doesn't
we know,
and also that doesn't mean that it has to be like he doesn't have to just fucking do this on his own like he's some fucking lone ranger. I mean, Drag, I'm not trying to blow either of us up, but like when Drag was trying to get into a lab, the truth is that like he did not know how to network that system. Like it's a kind of a weird thing where you have to sort of volunteer your services for a lot of people. And what did we do? What did Drag do? He nutted up and said, Sam, I need some help with like drafting a form letter. We sat down for 2 hours, got it down pat, and what happened literally less than a week later?
Got the lab.
So you don't have to do, like, no one is saying to Redline, you have to do it on your own. I mean, fuck, like, there's tons of shit that I've gotten help with online. Fuck, like, Mowdy helped me find a place to stay in Philly when I was there for my friend's wedding. Like, and I crashed with him, and he snores as bad as you do. What is wrong with you guys? Get sleep apnea masks. Sorry, that's unrelated. But there is no reason that this has to be on your own or it has to be like, oh, me against the world. It's like, dude, just like be a human being. And I feel like that is my biggest fucking takeaway. Because if the guy had come up to me at that funeral and just go, listen, like, I know there's shit between us. This is about Jade. We don't have to be friends, but let's be civil. Let's have a conversation. Could have easily moved forward. I mean, fuck, like, me and Laura moved forward from a previous conflict. Like, it's not a big deal. Like, it's not, I've been mad at Drag. Drag's been mad at me. We've resolved it because, like, no. It's adults. Like, I don't know what, like, it seems always weird to me that I always have to explain, like, how normal human adulting works,
Strange. Like, that's really what it comes down to. Like, you think about a lot of this stuff because I have to laugh at it. And I'm going to play a little bit of the Unirock and Kyle thing because, I mean, like, the worst punishment Redline has is waking up and looking in the mirror. And I know that. I know that based on the conversations we had, the numerous conversations. There's a reason he hides his face other than anonymity. And it's sad. And I kind of feel sorry for him, honestly. But you know what? He wants to pretend to be big, bad, ballsy on the internet, but in real life, he's just a bitch. That's scared.
Can I derail this for like 2 seconds?
Yep, go ahead, 13.
Yeah, I just want to derail this for a couple seconds because I've got one commenting, one question, one regarding the whole Pew thing. Of course, he should actually be worried about Pew. Pew's actually nicer to his girl than he was. But beyond that, you said you guys were heading in a caravan? Is that like the Jewish caravan Trump's been worrying about? I just had to wonder.
Yeah, totally. You know how it is in California.
Every goddamn day.
Freedom. What happened when Reds invited Nate to a restaurant?
Oh, Nate told me about that story ages. So this is how much of a good guy Red is. So Redline wants to invite Nate out to a restaurant, right? Thinking like, oh yeah, let's go eat, let's go chill. And Redline stiffs him with the fucking bill. Yeah, if y'all didn't know that. That's the kind of shit Redline does.
I'm sure he has a document explaining that in the
I'm
safe.
sure he does too. Yeah. Yes. No, the Redline stiffed Nate with the fucking bill. So if it's any consolation to people, if y'all don't understand what Redline's connection is and the animosity against Nate, it's the same thing with fucking Steve. They use Nate. And Nate hasn't actually mentioned certain stuff publicly about how much he's helped out Steve in the past. There's a reason these cats don't like him as much as they do.
Yeah, Red fucked over Vincent pretty hardcore too.
So it's just it's their users. There's a reason why Bullinator stuck up his ass. He's a user
Is there a reason why Bullinator blocked like half of the people that donated to him for that one fundraiser?
Yeah,
just out of curiosity.
Yes.
Yeah, because because money to these people, and it's not even money. It's their internet honor, which I still think is the most oxymoronic phrase. That's what matters more. Like people who, look.
I have honor and integrity. I have honor and integrity. Okay.
Like literally, you know, like what I'm not like Red seems like the type of person that like if you would to go to a bar, I mean like this is presuming he's social, which I realize is an adventure in this hypothetical, but like okay, if me and Drag go to a bar and I go, listen, I'll get the first round, or I did this when you guys visited. I'll get the first round. You guys just get like the next drinks, and that's what normal people do, right? Like Red's probably the type of person that's like, okay, now you owe me like 16 cents because you know the small difference in our drinks. Go fuck yourself.
Like it's crazy though, but that's what you have to expect. Because I don't know how you measure internet honor, but I guess when that's all you have in life, you know what? That's what you need to use. You know, they can't actually measure any accolades because I wanted to kind of point out something. If you look at the lives of the people of the Steve crowd or whatever you want to follow, I don't know who they actually are. Like, I really don't know who these people are. They don't know us really. But you look at the accolades of the education and the background and the direction in life that Steve and them have, and then you look at the people they don't like, and you'll notice a certain trend.
Well, it's just crabs in a bucket. It's just crabs in a bucket, right? And like, it's one of those things where, you know what? Like, I mean, I hate like just putting our fucking friendship on display. I feel weird about that, but it's like, okay, we've had me and you, we've had conversations where it's like we've had to tell like uncomfortable truths with each other, right? Yeah. Like, and that's like not a fun thing.
Like wash your pee-pee. They tell each other that. They remind each other every day.
No, G-Man reminds me that.
Hey.
But like, it's not, you know, it's normal people who have normal friendships encourage people to move on in whatever is like the constructive way. It's like these people want the opposite of that, which is very strange to me.
So somebody wants me to play a Cheshire video, so we're gonna play a video.
Please.
Yes,
so
yes, please.
If you I'm sorry, folks. Please. If you have an IQ over 62, it's about to get averaged out.
I'm going back to your role-playing server.
It's about to get like that. Hey, guys, what happened to G-Man's channels?
I'll talk about that tomorrow.
She's my new favorite. Over Godless Girl Cheshire. More Cheshire. Lots of Cheshire.
This is an official decree. Cheshire will now be known as 62 IQ. Only refer to her.
62 IQ? I can't call her Checkers?
Nope. What? 62 IQ.
How about Cheese Whiz? I like Cheese Whiz.
I thought Discount Hana was a good one.
That's an insult to Hana.
That is a huge insult.
Okay.
No, because
clearance. Wait, clearance sale?
I'm having hearing problems. Did you say her nickname's Dick Cheese?
The term discount prevents insult to Hannah.
So she was laying traps. She was laying traps. She thought she was super clever and laying little cheese traps for the little mice to grab. She thinks she's so clever.
Whiz.
Cheese Whiz.
Cheese Whiz.
Borrow her since she's community property. Who are you talking about? What?
That's so disgusting.
Or she's Mrs. Waterford and a gender traitor. Fuck her.
Here's a video.
Whatever. I'm not really convinced that secondhand smoke is a real thing. Like, it can affect young children and pregnant women or people who already have asthma, but from my experience and
I smoked for 25 years.
From what does that have to do with secondhand smoke?
I mean, I think this secondhand smoke is pretty good. But doesn't mean it has carcinogenics.
Why? Well, no, okay, why is not the right use. Never mind, this is a different problem. All right, we'll talk about this another time.
Okay, sorry.
So, as Aceto, as one of our resident physicians, you're welcome.
What am I thankful for?
That stupidity, because you think because you just learned something, right? About
just don't bring her to my ER.
Don't bring her.
Cool.
Why is Sam always looking for a deal?
That was from
I don't even know why she thinks like she has her opinion for so.
So Cheeto, in your professional opinion, is there another side to the secondhand smoke debate?
From the tobacco lobby? What do you mean?
Well, she says there's two sides. I was wondering what the other side is.
Oh yeah, there's the right side and the wrong side. uninformed side.
I mean, there is the opposition, but it's not supported by evidence.
Okay. Why does cigarette smoke have carcinogens?
Because it's combusted plant material.
Okay.
That's just what happens when you combust plant material when you combust complex complex carbon material in the presence of insufficient oxygen, you get a lot of different types of products. Some of them tend to be what is the term?
Carcinogenic?
No, carcinogenic, but specifically, there's a type of carcinogen where it forms adjunct bulky agents to DNA.
Intercalating agent?
No, I mean intercalating agents is a family of chemotherapeutic agents. And they're also chemotherapy. They're also carcinogenic. Intercalation causes cross-linking within the DNA, I think.
I thought that was with you get dimers from like.
Well, thymine dimering is a specific. Yeah. It's when you get cross-linking within the same chain.
Right. Because I'm trying to think of what you're talking about. The only thing I could think of was the thymine dimers.
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. Y'all learning shit. My bad. We actually have people who are educated in this.
I'm just fucking.
Either way, when you take combusted products, you can develop a lot of cancerous agents.
But
it's also not good. I mean, that's why it's carcinogen. But the reason why it causes pulmonary disease is for a couple other reasons.
Someone says
polycyclic. It is definitionally smoke inhalation, isn't it?
Someone's saying it's polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon.
That's another thing, yeah.
So.
That's it. No, I mean that's exactly it's a DNA adjunct forming group.
Okay, Daryl Frost, 2 points. He got 2
points.
So. What? Do you have? Where's the echo? What the hell is going on with you, Aceto?
Oh, it's me. Let me figure it out.
So, Kyle came back. That's why I really started this. Like I
started this. Like I.
Oh, actually, that's Holy Spackle. Why is there an echo?
Yeah, that's coming out Holy.
So Kyle came back. Kyle's been sitting and waiting in the wing. Kyle and Holy, you're still echoing.
Why does your voice sound much deeper?
No, mute yourself, Holy.
But that's always my voice is always deeper. From my perspective, you're hearing what I hear. My voice is not that deep, like compared to my cousin, obviously.
No, that voice is the voice of James Earl Jones deep.
No, it's not.
The one that's coming out of Holy speakers? Yeah.
That's how I sound to myself.
Yeah, you sound nothing like that.
I know. I think I sound a lot deeper. But the sound, what I'm hearing is a lot closer to my ears. Anyway.
No, just an old fart.
So, Kyle came back, and I shot. So, for those of you who
DNA addicts, that's what it's called.
DNA addict. Okay. So, those of you who heard the shout out, I sent Kyle a message, and I was like, you know what? Why don't you mention where y'all got bitch made from? And so there we go. And I saw someone in the chat was real salty, but I heard that ages ago. I'm like, bitch, I didn't invent the fucking term. People got it. I didn't coin it. People started using it.
It's not like 6 months beforehand I was using it to reference Ronnie or anything, but like, sure, take the credit for this community.
I will take the credit.
God damn, I'm a Jew. I control the credit, fucker. I've been sitting on that joke for multiple hours now.
I know. I pulled it out just for you. So there's so much. Like I got a chance to watch quite a bit of it actually. I'm still blocking.
So is this like what we were listening to with Reds? Is that like a pity stream with Red and?
Oh yeah, no, that was a pity stream they had earlier. That like a lot of feelings.
I don't see why they don't just like at this point, like it's like, look, like we don't
breaking up.
Why not just do that? Like it seems so much easier than like digging in your heel pump every.
Wow, go hyper-robotic as my connection crap.
Yeah, so I think what Sam was getting at is that it's why are they having like to double down on everything? And it seems just easier just to go, you know what, let me just take a step back and just kind of reevaluate things. You know, why? And that's something I have to kind of ask myself, like, why dig your heel? Like, why is this the hill to die on? Like, why is all this so
I got a bigger
fucking
question
important?
for you, Drag. Why are you pulling it out for Sam? What was that about?
I pull things out for him to enjoy. It's a regular thing.
Okay,
Happens all the time. But
Ugh.
I think it's just related to the fact that they don't really have a lot going on in real life. Like this they remind me a lot of G-Man in a way. And by the way, I'm very happy that G-Man is taking a break. Like he needs to take a break. Redline, Steve, and some of these other cats don't have real lives. They're not going out and, you know. Hello? Say it again. What are you saying?
Oh, take a break from what? That's all. This is all he has.
Well, but he becomes inundated, right? And if you're just inundated with all the stuff involved with the internet stuff, it becomes toxic. And that you get to situations like that where people are making tacit threats or overt threats towards people, and it's like you're trying to build up online honor for what? For people that you'll never meet in your fucking life? What is the point? You know, there's a really good argument that the people that are Steve fans are in a cult, and they don't realize it. And that's kind of becoming more and more apparent as time goes on, because what are they actually gaining other than his approval? Like, why would you want approval from someone who's barely doing anything in real life? That's
because they'll get a little recommendation for a good job.
I guess so. Maybe there's
a
Steve
simple
stickers
fucking
that
pattern.
they get.
I tried to warn people about it initially.
You did.
Somebody who joins the community, and he goes over and courts them and brings them over and says, "Oh, I'm started the great debate community. Come on over," and yada yada yada. And these people didn't know enough to otherwise. So
But you were right. 13. You were one of the first. And for those of you who don't know, 13 is one of the OGs, one of the founding, great debate members.
He's got to be the longest. He's got to be the longest lasting in the community. Like this, it's you or Agent of Doubt probably at this point, right?
LAD has me beat. Actually, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, Jordy. No one has Jordy beat, but Jordy's not really around.
I actually made my first video 3 weeks before Aaron Raw did. It was a week before Thunderfoot did. Actually, I take that back. My first video was a week before Thunderfoot's first. It was on Scientology. And by the time I started switching to atheism, there was a whole different fucking community, and I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, and you did call it. You and I think there was a few others who just said, there's something ain't right. And looking back, it's like
narcissist.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a narcissist. Yeah.
Also, whatever vendetta he has against condoms, that one too.
Gotta dispose of them. Gotta collect them all. Gotta catch them all.
Can you guys hear me now? Am I okay?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Better.
Sorry about that. I had to move because my husband just flopped on the bed in the bedroom, and I'm like, dude, it's 8. Okay, and I had to move in a hurry.
It's 8? Oh yeah, you're in Southern California.
But Aceto, by the way, man, did you know
on the West Coast in Texas
lives near you?
What's that?
You know Tila Tequila lives over in your area of Houston?
What's that?
Tila Tequila, the crazy chick that's I'll show you later. Yeah, I just thought I want to throw that out there. Yeah, because his side of Houston is interesting. We'll say that.
Not to go back on what Cheshire brought up, but it was interesting.
62 IQ.
Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, what 62 IQ said within the same breath when she says, "I'm not sure," quote unquote, that secondhand smoke is a thing. And then she says, "But it affects." I believe it affects pregnant women and people with asthma. So it's like, okay, are you saying it's not a thing or it doesn't do certain
Yeah, she said I think pediatric asthma.
Yeah, she said it's right, but she said it's not a thing, meaning it doesn't exist. And then she's immediately in the same breath, it does exist. It just doesn't. I mean, I don't know.
Fucking genius.
I don't know who she listens to, but Adam Carolla says it doesn't cause cancer. There was one old study.
Okay, first of
Adam
all,
Carolla.
I love Adam Carolla, but he's not.
Oh no, I'm not. No, I'm just speculating.
Ask his buddy Dr. Drew what he thinks.
No, I'm just speculating as to what she listened to. There was a study in 2013 by the National Cancer Institute that said there's no clear link between cancer and secondhand smoke.
Yeah, there is now.
It's not a real thing.
Yeah, there is now.
Morris.
Exactly.
No, the ACA is not by Philip Morris.
So, question: if somebody listens to Cheshire and then they go, secondhand smoke, and they just kind of embrace it and savor it in their house because maybe they're with a smoker, and if they get cancer, does that mean that Cheshire causes cancer?
I think it's a good thing because if you're someone who worships Cheshire, you deserve to die.
Right.
Well, sorry.
That
out loud.
Jesus Christ.
They're gonna soundbite that and be like, "These are the people." They're gonna be like, "Moon got another threat from a random troll."
You are the worst Jew ever.
What gets me about that whole video that Drag played though was that like right as Steve begins to like challenge her on it, like she realized, oh wait, we're disagreeing. Well, whatever, yeah. They just kind of get passive about it. I thought that was the really
Steve does not surround himself with people who agree with him. He surrounds himself with agreeable people. Okay?
Right, but my point was, as soon as they started to even get an inkling of, oh, we're heading in a disagreement direction.
Yeah.
Stop.
No, they know better than that. They know better than to actually like. Sam, do you remember that group Facebook message that me, you, and Steve were in?
Oh, where Steve was, his vagina was hurting from the fact that I corrected him in public?
Yes. Why don't you retell that story?
I mean, I don't know what to say. He went to you and he basically said, don't like anyone criticizing me, especially Sam. And he made you arrange like a 3-way conversation on Facebook that was kind of awkward because it was like, hey, don't criticize me. And I'm like, dude, aren't we in a debate community? Like,
should we criticized him sideways. He doesn't like it.
Public, like he made a real big emphasis on the fact that it was public. Like he didn't mind so much because he made that a point. Like, I don't mind that Sam, offers like, his comments, but can he not do it while we're live? And I'm like, what? Like that was kind of like one of the first times
to do it when you're fucking wrong. Get corrected on the spot, like a real person.
Yeah,
but he's sideways, Sam. Don't come at me sideways.
Don't come at him sideways. But that's what it was. Like it didn't matter.
That driver earlier was coming at me frontways, and I almost got hit.
And if you say that's not what happened, it means you called him a liar and you lose your wrench.
You lose your what?
I wonder did he attack those condoms frontways or sideways? Sorry.
So
I think it took a spatula. Just saying.
Let me play some of the Kyle interview. Let me know if
Let's just say that he knows that he's
going
to be paid on non-sequitur. Why are you going to tear down non-sequitur if you're going to try to be actively paid through the damn thing sometime in the future? It's all insane now.
Poor lyrical.
Well, and he was profiting off of this the entire time. Like he was making a shit ton in the streams that he was doing, where he was
what's a shit ton?
Everyone.
$30.
He made fucking $4,000 last year.
Making a shit ton.
That's a shit ton
off of this. At the same time, the non sequitur show is just depleting and going into a tailspin. And some of the things that he was saying, or that people were saying, may have been true. Depending on what particular item you want to pull out of that, but for the majority, he was saying things that he knew were false and profiting off of it. And so at that point, I'm like, well, if that's how you want to get your cut of the money, then more power to you. But I'm not going to hand over the money that I was being nice to and trying to end things amicably with I'm not going to do that after you're profiting off of actively lying against me, my friends, and saying things that are just demonstrably false. And so that's sort of why Steve hasn't been paid, even though.
I don't blame you now, man.
Yeah.
I don't blame you now. I think that it has to be handled in a court of law at some point. I've been hoping the whole time that you would go in and, petition the judge sometime about telling him where you've been and what's been going on, because all those threats that you got in your Discord messages and your Skype messages on all over the place, these nasty things people say to you.
Can I address that real quick?
Yes, please. That's where we were heading.
One instance where, and I said this earlier, from where I messed up and things that I didn't handle.
Last sentence.
Oh, sure. I want to. This is one of those instances where I made a mistake and didn't handle things the right way, and I mean, it's been shown now, but I didn't show up to court, and I lied about having an attorney that was continuing with the case.
All right, so right there. So that was an interesting revelation that I'm sure everyone was shocked about, him lying about having a lawyer. Who here was shocked?
Oh, I'm so shocked.
No words can explain my shocked.
There's this thing that most attorneys require. It's called payment.
I personally don't believe that he had an attorney at any point. Like, what's
at any point?
Like,
I agree. I'll take it.
I don't know why. Like, he's like, why not just tell us who the fucking attorney was, right? Like, there's no.
Just acknowledged he lied about having one, though.
It's just silly. Like, at this point, he's literally just pretending. Because, like, look at the way that he tucked his tail and ran. Like, I don't blame him for fucking running, but like, it certainly, it shows that he did a dumb fucking thing. But why are you lying to all of us? Like, it's such an obvious lie too.
Yeah, you're lying to the wrong people.
Yeah, I think it's the people who kind of held him in high regard, because like for all of us folks from the actual great debate community, we really didn't care. I'm like,
oh no, we just enjoyed it's like when you see a dumpster fire.
Oh yeah, no, it was.
But I feel sorry for people like Shannon Q, people like Godless Engineer,
right.
People like Godless Engineer. When he got married, fucking Kyle did the service. He married him and his wife.
Right.
Like that's like the fact that he's lying now and making the rounds now and just left, tail tucked between his legs earlier. Like, that's a shitty thing to do when you consider the connections he's made. Yeah. Right? Like, if I just suddenly fucked off and made no contact with y'all afterwards, and we have some pretty good friendships here, that'd be a dick thing to do.
Hey.
I don't know. We'd be all right. Don't worry about it.
You know what? I could forgive that. I could actually forgive that. But the fact is that he actually deceived them and then fucked off, right? And then left them to deal with the wake. That's kind of what got me, because when there's certain folks in the communities, like, you know what? Separate myself from removing folks, some folks from Facebook and this social media. I'm doing something else. I respect that a lot. We don't have any beef. There's no loose ends. You're not leaving me with a mess. I can accept that as an adult. But he still had folks who were defending him, and while Steve is sea lining people on fucking Twitter and stuff like that, they're just left twisting in the wind, still with their narrative that Kyle gave them, and I think that was a shitty thing to do.
Oh, 13. I need to PM you something. One sec.
But that's like
someone.
Go ahead.
I think you might be on the short list of people that haven't actually DM'd me lately, trying to see if I'm still alive.
So somebody asked me why I don't pick on Sweet Heathen, and I said because she hasn't shown herself to be a cruel and malicious person to me. Like, as soon as
she just has terrible taste.
Yeah, she has terrible taste, and she's fooled, right? So when I look at someone like GE, I look at somebody that literally, genuinely was fooled by a man that has Southern charm, that comes in with that Southern humility. I did do some things wrong, and I could have done it better, but and he has that little story that he tells, and he is fairly charming.
He's from Alabama. He can't help it.
But he's a liar.
He's from North Carolina, isn't he?
No, GE. He's from Alabama. It's fooling people from Alabama ain't too hard. Sorry, GE. Sorry, man.
Oh, GE.
Okay.
Well, GE also made the mistake of thinking that G-Man would be an honest interlocker. So.
Yeah. Oh, he learned from that one.
I'm going to be a rude bastard for a second and reference what I'm being DM'd by Sam here a little bit. Now, the drive that accessed the web when somebody tried directing me to the lyrical nudes, I threw the hard drive out afterwards. Just in case.
Sorry, Tatted Atheist. I can't send you those. That's the girl from the fucking condom story, guys.
Yeah, she, her breasts look like teardrops. It's nasty. This woman would go into Hangouts, and it's one thing if you want to sit there and show off your stuff in Hangouts. When somebody warns you, somebody might take it and then makes a fucking web page dedicated to all the times that you've disrobed on cam. You might have a problem there.
Is 13 breaking up for y'all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Shit.
Basically, he's saying it's weird to go full beeve on Hangouts.
So Lyrical did the female equivalent of dick pics that were unsolicited.
Yeah.
So you know how Shannon Q on Twitter goes, nice dick pics. I got another dick pic, kind of thing. Like some girl on the internet gets another dick pic. She didn't ask for it. She doesn't want it. She's like, fuck off, buddy. So Lyrical was the female version of that. Lyrical is here is my vagina and my tits. Everybody wants it. Have some. Blah.
Yeah,
and
pretty
she's
much.
sort of
It
like
wasn't much to look at.
She's sort of like Nikki. Nikki recently posted something about her labia and admitted that she had meat flaps. She's just like that. She's just like Nikki.
Could we change the subject, please?
I was just wondering if I'm still breaking up.
No,
you're good.
You're good.
Sound beautiful.
Can we go back? Also, like, Kyle's looking like a haggard bird these days. He's not looking like the glorious tropical toucan.
Let me tell you about that. Hold on for a second. So G's from Georgia.
You mean Peacock?
I thought he was from Alabama. I thought he said he was from Alabama. I'm my mistake. Georgia ain't much better. But
ain't much better.
Somebody, there's a few people in the chat because I'm still blocked in fucking Unirock's chat. By the way, folks.
I did say something in Unirock's chat and said you were blocked, and
I'm still blocked by him on Twitter and bunch. I'm just throwing it out there. Still ain't actually received an apology personally, but that's fine. So, a few people in the chat kept saying something about Kyle's jaw, and I'm like, what the fuck? Maybe these people are trolls. Maybe they're just talking shit. And I was like, you know what? Hold on for a second. And I start looking, and someone in Discord goes, what the fuck is up with his jaw? And I swear I couldn't stop looking. I'm like, is he chewing cud? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Sometimes you get a little bit edgy when you do a little too much cocaine.
Yeah.
What? You asked me what that looks like, okay? Look,
Dude,
I have friends. I live near Mexico. I'm going to leave it at that, okay?
Oh, man.
He might be catching the cocaine as it gets slingshot above the border.
Look, I'm not
through the
saying-
border. He's just like sitting there catching it with a catcher's mitt.
I'm not saying that he took all of Non Sequitur's money except for an $100 bill and then got a bunch of cocaine, chopped it up with some weird honorary credit card or a razor blade, and then used that $100 bill to snort it up his nose. I'm not saying he did that. I'm not saying that his boyfriend might have boofed it into him. I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
What's boofing? I'm sorry, I don't know.
Putting it up his ass.
Putting it up his ass.
Oh, don't
That's a
do
medical
that.
term
That
for
would
it.
be bad. Don't do that.
I'm not saying that he snorted it off of his boyfriend's dick. I'm not saying that. Okay, I have no proof that Kyle snorted cocaine off of his boyfriend's dick.
You know he's
prior
laughing
to going
at this
live.
shit right now, right? He watches all. He's just laughing at this shit.
Did you
I
know
hope he
that
finds
Sam?
it funny because.
Did you know that Sam is a cocaine apologist?
Look, in reasonable amounts. Look, if we're gonna talk cocaine apologists, Agrippa ain't in here, okay?
Oh, I'm about to say, yeah, Agrippa fucking nose is itching right now.
Cocaine apologist. How does that work? I'm so sorry I snorted you. Wait, no, wrong kind of apology.
Just there's some other shit.
By the way, geniuses. The genius that thought up the cocaine apologist rebuttal, which I'm assuming is Steve or what 60 IQ, whatever that bitch name is. 62 IQ. Listen. A drug offense is not the same as a rape or sexual assault, and a drug offense is
this was before or after they defended the rapist.
And a drug offense is not the same as murder. There are certain crimes that are worse than drugs. In fact, it's arguable that drug crimes shouldn't be put in prison. Like, you shouldn't be put in prison for possession of drugs. It's very arguable.
Oh no, I'm pro drug decriminalization and legalization in some drugs. Ironically, maybe cocaine. I think cocaine. There's a debate. Also, the live chat is going crazy with remarks about boofing and blow.
You better get yourself some cocaine.
Like I don't like. Also, I'm clearly joking. I have no clue why Kyle has a weird like clicky jaw. He could just have a weird tick that I never noticed before. But I'm just being funny. Okay, don't
I
fucking
took it as
me.
I took it as nervousness. Like he also does the swinging back and forth in his chair thing.
Yeah. Oh no, Tommy Hall did that a lot, but Tommy Hall's playing himself.
Well, I think that look.
Only when Sam's in the room.
We know Kyle's fuck you. Well, we know that at least him and Kyle share one thing in common.
I was gonna say anal prolapse, but that's too mean. But like speaking,
you said it anyway. You fuck.
Are we talking about the anus?
We need you to look at somebody, Cedal Coe. They got possible anal prolapse. It's flowering.
It's flowering.
Can we please move on again?
So,
how did we get from fucking boofing cocaine to anal?
So,
actually, that's not a far leap at all.
Well, what are you talking about? It's the same orifice. Like, you didn't go that far at all.
It is.
This is what happens when we have late night hangouts.
I don't
just
know.
stuff
Is the boyfriend
spews.
black? Like I don't know. Like anyway, so it's like there was clearly a lot of stuff that was out of line that was said to Kyle, and even I saw some of that shit. You know.
Yeah, there was a lot of "please kill yourself." I saw that.
Go
shit.
get raped to death and shit like that. And I find it interesting that Steve didn't go out of his way to like deter people from saying shit like that to him, because it's like, you know what, he did fuck up, and Kyle know that me and him ain't cool, you know. But at the same time, you can be honest about where shit should not go. And that's why when I hear some of these cats talk about people going too far and who should say what, look, y'all can kiss the fattest side of my ass, because y'all don't go out of y'all way to stop shit when it's y'all. But I just learned today that somebody tried to dox Nate, and then Nate flipped the script on him and called him at his job. So, you know, it's real weird that when some of these cats step out of line and they think no one's going to check them, they forget that someone can reach out and touch you. And sometimes people got to be reminded about that. But the fact that it has to go that far tells you a lot. It really, really, really tells you a lot.
Well, recently there is a woman that I actually never knew before, and I had to actually fish for her on a sock because she had me pre-blocked. I've never talked or interacted with this woman before, but per Cheshire's instructions, she had me blocked. I guess she received a threat from some faceless troll, don't know. And so when I heard about it, I reached out to her and said, you know, we, as in Nate, Fiona, Exiled, myself, we all take threats very seriously, and I'm sorry that happened. I would recommend that you both, screenshot this, report it, and also keep a file and report it to the police. If you have a credible threat, report it to the police. And then I kind of said, do you mind showing me the threat? And it was like, well, they immediately got rid of their account, whatever, immediately blocked. Tells Checkers, 62 IQ, tells 62 IQ, these people reached out to me after. Checkers throws shade as if I'm the one that did it. And then they called me psycho because I said, call the fucking police if somebody's giving you a credible threat.
That's why I'm like, if people are, it's like, one thing, I don't believe it, but it's the same thing with, just like G-Man said that he was getting death threats, and then we actually saw the emails and ain't shit there. It's bullshit. That's just me though.
Drag, I've been corrected by our resident Coke scholar.
Oh yeah?
From Agrippa, likely some level methamphetamine. Coke doesn't give you jaw clenching or grinding, MDMA does.
Oh, thank you, Agrippa, for that. wealth of knowledge on illicit drug use.
They were having a discussion about it. A moderate extremist put up a clip about this jaw thing, and Anti-Ordinary and him were having some conversations about it. Just a brief exchange, but yeah, I think that's MDMA. Yeah.
No, it's not any amphetamine. So whether it's amphetamine, methamphetamine, or MDMA, which is really just another substituted amphetamine, it'll do that. It's just anytime you have a pro-dopamine drug, you can do that.
Tell us
including
more,
cocaine. It's just cocaine doesn't really have doesn't have the pharmacokinetics to really last long enough.
Huh. You
By
learn
the
something
way-
new every day.
By the way, I think it should be said that nobody here in this group wants people to threaten people or dox them or say that they want to cause harm. This is something that I think that both sides of the community can agree that it's not okay. Do not do that.
Can we
that shit.
I want to like reduce the sides thing, right? Because that right there just like adds into this notion like there are sides. I'm not AO side. I'm not Unirock side. I'm not who is their fucking Crystal Balls? Who is she? What's that?
I don't know. Like
Katie?
whatever it is, they always ball them with
Whoever.
us, and
It's
we're like,
like
who are
so-
these people?
So glad I fell out of this stupid community.
Yeah, because that's what's kind of the thing now, right? There is no Dragnot side, there is no Dragoon side, and none of that stupid shit. When y'all say that that's the stuff that Steve came up with, right? Y'all are playing into that stupid shit. There is no sides. There is
I don't see it. I don't see any reason why we can't just be cordial. Like that's the whole thing. It's like, look, I'm never gonna like, Steve or Red, but like we could work towards mending that fence. I'm fine with it, but like, I just see no fucking effort at mending a fence. Like,
No,
that's never gonna happen.
just they have to put forth that effort, right? There's no, I don't know why, but I guess this is all they have. Like I think that's kind of what it comes down to. So it helps them have something to wake up to in the morning. So if you go, oh well, you know what? Since I don't have a fucking job, or I'm working at fucking AutoZone and I hate my life, then you know what? If I can get on the internet and pretend that I'm fighting for something, then that gives me a purpose in life. Then like, okay, cool. Keep that shit.
Well, where's the local Burger King?
Yeah, let me go stalk a fucking Burger King. Like, man, I love the taste of gunmetal. But like,
Drag. All I'm gonna say is that you better not be craving for a Whopper the next time
No,
you're in
I'm
the
trying to
Tampa
disabuse
area.
my son of going because he likes Burger King, and I was like, nah, we can't do that. I'm sorry, man. No. But
Well, to the side thing that you were saying, that it seems like what I've been witnessing, and recently, I might be reiterating something that maybe is talked in a past hangout that I wasn't part of because some of us work during the day. But I think we mentioned at one point that there was a poll that was taken, and then when the poll didn't go the way Steve wanted it to go, I guess he decided to get rid of it. But he was basically saying for people that didn't vote to his preference for the poll that they can get the fuck out. They can pack their bags and leave.
that's
Unfollow,
interesting.
unsub.
Like, so I think I did my own version of that poll, and it's actually very interesting here. I'm going to share it in a second, folks. It had to do with rape apology or some shit like that. So, and I did my own poll, and I'll share it here, folks. There we go. Will you stand up against folks who support serial rapists? There were people who said no, but they appeared in the chat. They misread the question. So, and that happened. It's the way that I worded it. They misread the question. They accidentally hit no. So, and there's over 270 people voted in that. So, no matter how it turns out, I'm going to keep it up. But when he doesn't get what he wants, like he wants affirmation. That's why he does shit like that. I did that just to be funny. But it's like, it's good to see that people understand kind of how serious that is, because I'm going to be honest with you, Steve and Reds and people like that, people who won't actually stand up, that's the reason why a lot of women don't report rape. That's why a lot of women don't have confidence in the system, is because of people like Steve and Red. But I don't expect them to grow nuts and to grow a spine anytime soon. So, it's up to other people in real life, to actually say something.
Nice sample size.
But
274 people. That's pretty good.
Yeah, too. Well, a lot of people. Well, I think Creepshow shared and a couple other people. I didn't expect. Like I didn't expect all that. I did that.
Creepshow loves you because you like to go hard on Steve McBoom Boom Boom.
Yeah, I like a lot of Creepshow's videos. There's a kinship that I see with Creepshow. He and I actually share a lot in common, and she may not even know it. But she is definitely kind of disgusted with not kind of. She is disgusted with him defending a serial rapist. Why you would defend a serial rapist? I don't know, but I could think of a few reasons. And it's sad. Like this is the hill that some of these cats want to die on.
Listen, 62 RQ said that the rapist was nice to her.
Oh, I'm sure.
Than you and I are. Okay.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm sure Ted Bundy was nice to the mailman too. Happens. Like,
I don't know, all this internet drama horse shit. I sit there and I've seen it for years and years and years, and there are all these different things that I've always sat there and yelled out from the fucking mountaintop, so to speak. And half of it, of course, fell on deaf ears and other shit just wasn't fucking listened to. And one of which, of course, is you guys in this room know one of the most important things we have to do as content providers of any sort is to keep reminding ourselves that we're just schmucks on the fucking internet. Because the moment you forget that, you turn into another goddamn Steve or one of these other assholes.
Yeah, I think
and it starts becoming about the views and all that shit instead of just being who the fuck you are to some degree.
But you look at this, like think about. I want people to think about this for a second because 13 brings up a good point. A lot of these guys take themselves way too seriously. Like what are you actually doing, right? Are you actually winning points? You add another notch to your belt. Like how are you actually helping people? Did he ever say what secret evidence was? No, he didn't. What are you doing for people? And who the fuck made a sock account of Ted Bundy? You are correct. I was nice to my mailman. Fuck you. Somebody actually had a Ted Bundy sock account. That's fucking good. That's good. But you think about this shit, right? The people who are in Steve's little cult, they know better than to step out of line. They know better than not to say the wrong thing, or they're getting muted, they're getting exiled, and all this other kind of stuff. They're getting excoriated. And you'd see that they do something. And it's interesting because 62 IQ likes to show off that block list. Why is it that you have to preclude yourself from people you disagree with if you're about the truth? If you really you're not about the narrative and you just want to deal with the facts, why is that all necessary? Why is it necessary if you don't have a quote unquote narrative to tell people who they should and should not subscribe to and who they should and should not listen to? If you are somebody who just wants to present information and let people think on their own, why do you need to do any of that and encourage people to go, do anything other than, you know what, you guys go listen to Nate, go listen to his video, decide for yourself, because that's what I tell, like some of you folks here who are because not everyone here is in my regular audience. I tell people all the time, you don't have to listen to me, don't take everything I say as fucking gospel. I'm just a schmuck on the fucking internet. Right? Mm-hmm. And then I try to bring receipts where I can, but when I don't, and even when I do, take everything with a grain of salt. You are adults. You guys, most of you guys are from G+. You should know how to be critical thinkers, but that's not what Steve does. That's not the environment that Steve fosters. He's culling his group to be mindless fucking drones that know better than to speak up against him. And I think that really says something about his character.
Sure as fuck does. Years ago, I used to always call my group to get rid of all the goddamn sycophants, because that's the one thing that drove me nuts, is that one of the first things I realized on here is if you're not careful and you sit there and your message isn't tempered by the realization that you're just another schmuck on the damn internet, you can end up with one of these followings that becomes so fucking toxic that people end up going out there like they're your dog running out there trying to kill the mailman, then coming back with mailman's pants hanging out their mouth looking up at you like, am I a good boy? Do I get a treat?
Right.
We don't want those fucking people in our audience.
Right. And that's why I'm not interested in getting all these. Like I'm Unirock's sending people my way, AL's sending people my way. That's cool, thanks. But here's what I'm at. I would like people to watch, but I want people to think. I don't want you here, just because Drag said I might be able to learn something. That's cool and everything. But I want people who enjoy that sort of thing, but are also ready to challenge me, right? I want that. You can see someone, let me look in the chat. Dinah Cat loves me. Well, he will at a drop of a fucking dime will challenge me, and he's good for that. I know that he's good for that, right? That's why I'm able to identify him. He doesn't get fucking deleted and booted and threatened, but that's not what Steve and them like. They want to have an environment of yes men, agreeable people. That's what that means. That's what that ends up turning into, even if that's not overtly stated. Because how do you keep your integrity? And I want folks to think about this. How do you keep your integrity when you don't include folks who will challenge you when you stepped out of line? And not just people you like, people you don't like. Because when you have people around you that you like and they like you, they have the tendency to value kindness over honesty, when in fact honesty is what you should really go for.
When I fuck up, I want somebody to tell me that I fucked up so I can fix it then and right then and there,
Exactly. That's why I value Sam. That's why I value Xavier. Not so
sock account. Sock account. It makes me worry. If he ever turned his ire on me, I'd be very afraid. I'd run away.
I just want to say that Sam has critiques of me and he expresses them. Sam and I are still friends. Like, we're still friendly with each other. We're not best friends. We're not as close as Drag, but we're friends. Like I'm not like, that's it, Sam. You criticized me for the last time.
You understand that you're not always right.
No.
And a lot of people on the internet seem to have lost track of that.
What do they call those when you exchange a word for another word? Malaprops? Is it malaprops?
Malaprops. Yeah.
Yeah, Sam gets wild on me for them. He's like, what did you do? What did you do?
Echo.
Have people to call me up. Who is echoing? Get that echo out of my stream. Stop it. Have people to call me up. If I'm fucked up about something, and y'all actually catch it in midstream if I notice my phone. So hey, no, you got that wrong. So, okay, and I corrected midstream. Like, I don't get a fucking attitude about it.
How dare you tell me I'm wrong when I say that the moon lives in my anus? What?
Right, like it's crazy. Dale Frost says, I called out Steve on a basic science point. He called me a contrarian and blocked me. Never been so proud. That's the kind of shit that I'm talking about. And that's why folks say, well, Drag, what do you suggest you do with Steve? Here's what you do. Go watch Steve. And when he does make a mistake, offer a correction. Just, tactfully, just actually challenge him on a point. And you will find out what type of person. You'll find out a lot about a person if you challenge them. And somebody who values his intellectual prowess or whatever he wants to call it should not be afraid of challenge. And Steve is absolutely scared of challenge. I actually took some time to listen to that talk that he gave with was Atheist Edge. And man, oh man, if you want to see the highlight, there's a guy in the audience named Eric Hernandez who brings up a point of properly basic beliefs to Steve. Go listen to that exchange.
Oh, yeah? What
happened? Go listen to that very carefully. Look at Steve, look at Eric, listen to the content of what is stated, right? If you have any questions, we got folks here in the Discord. We got folks, a lot to Ozzy and Alex Malpass, who can explain to you the ropes of what was talked about if you don't understand. But notice how Steve handles that objection. It is very interesting. Is it emblematic of someone who can take correction? Is it emblematic of someone who understands the objection? Is it emblematic of someone who holds himself in too high of regard to be corrected while it's being recorded? It's a lot of stuff that you can ask yourself, right? But I think that it shows, right? There's a reason, and I'm gonna flex here. It's gonna be an awkward flex. There's a reason I'm getting invited to Atheist Experience and Steve is not.
Yeah, fuck you.
Just saying.
I have Atheist Experience at NB, I'm just saying.
You should be on there more than me, man. Shit.
No. I never made much of a wave on here. That and I kind of screwed the pooch on that one because I found God.
Did you now?
Yes, I did.
Oh, shit. Okay. Goddamn. All right. Oh,
yeah, I actually found God.
No, you didn't.
I absolutely did. It's the other hemisphere.
Oh my god.
I knew it.
No, I can actually explain it to you. The thing is, and I was the one that, as you remember a while ago, I was talking about that innate sense of the other that so many have. And one day I'm sitting there mid-stroke and I realized what the fuck it was. It's that other part of your brain that you're recognizing, because there's technically two yous in a sense in the way that your brain works. It's you sensing the other part of your brain, the part that's nonverbal. It's as fucking simple as that.
Fair enough. It's time for me to throw some shade at folks. That's enough time on Steve.
Have missed you, 13.
Ayo, if you keep sending me fucking naked pics, I'm reporting you.
Is she?
No.
If
she
AO's
charges
gonna
for those.
do that, she needs to send it to Xavier. Xavier's your guy.
You know what? You know what? She should do that. I will actually. Where's Ao? I will pay Ao to send Xavier nudes.
Yes.
I will actually, as he is one of my buddies. He is one of my rolling, and I know he has a love for the trans. Right?
He is open-minded in this way.
He is very. Yeah, we'll call it that. Open-minded.
I am open-minded in that way, but
so I will pay for some AO nudes just for you. How about that?
Oh my god!
Look, he didn't say no. He didn't say no.
I was making a contrary joke to that, but I decided not to say a word.
So AO, let me know the price, and I will. Because guess what, folks? All those super chats for y'all abusing my goddamn super chat thing, that finally came through. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of money on my buddy. So
you're gonna support a working girl.
Yeah. She gotta. You know what? Suck that dick. Do what you gotta do. I ain't gonna hate on you. Do what you do. What else was I gonna say?
It's innocent.
I would love for AO to take some time to like actually get into some of the topics. Like Sam had got on her when she was like, I didn't look up what Romeo and Juliet lost. No, you had time. You recorded the video and edited it. You had time. And I sat and I listened to that. I was like, no, bitch, no. Because I was waiting for the cut, like, the jump cut. I think that's what it's called. And for her to go, okay, look, bitches. I looked it up. Here's what it is. And so it didn't happen. I was disappointed. So we need to work on that.
What was it she was to look up again?
She was the Romeo and Juliet laws. Remember when Steve was saying that that was the issue, and then he dropped that and moved to something else. So she was referencing that old argument from Steve.
Yeah.
And then she didn't even look it up. I'm like, don't mention it then, because it's like that to me that takes away from the point that you're trying to make. If you were to say, I looked it up, doesn't apply here, nice try, buddy, then that to me is just icing on the cake. Like that helps your point grow. And I think it was a really missed opportunity. So
realistically, on the internet, there's two things that make a person smart. One is being smart enough to know when you need to ask somebody else.
Right. Yeah.
And the other one is being smart enough to do your fucking research.
Oh yeah.
But listen, that Red versus Cheshire comparison and that ending.
Oh my god.
That ending is glorious. That was glorious.
Great. Did you notice that she actually licks the outside of her mouth after the dog licks her?
Yes. What the?
That's fucking disgusting. Go back and look at it. Go back and look at it. She
no means no.
You should see
her tongue come out of her mouth and touch her lip.
No. A dog licking another dog's a human licking a dog's ass is just wrong. But if another dog licks that dog's ass first, then it's never mind.
Drag, you're not allowed to make jokes about me molesting dogs anymore.
It's acetyl-CoA. Should she have some heartworm medication now?
He's not in here anymore. I bet she has parvo.
Does Res Dick have parvo?
Okay. What the fuck?
Like, it's just fucking disgusting.
Acetyl-CoA.
He's not in here.
He quietly left.
Drag, that is not white people shit. Okay,
is it
don't
though?
put that on white people.
That is definitely white people shit.
Yeah, drag.
I didn't say it.
I'm sorry that us white people can afford to like have our dogs on leashes instead of fucking random chains.
Look, Cujo has been on that chain ever since he was a pup, and he's gonna stay on it.
Look, you got fucking Cujo on the Michael Vick Lifton plan. Like, Jesus Christ.
He's moving up in the world.
Yeah. That dude, like that dude.
Okay, hashtag not all white people, okay?
There we go.
No, definitely all white.
Yeah, but like I straight up sometimes just see like white chicks tongue kissing a golden retriever. I'm like, come on, man. Like, you're giving us a bad look.
So what happens is these girls go, so a human mouth has more bacteria and more germs than a dog. And then my response back is, well, bitch, I hoped that the worm eggs tasted delicious because you might be eating worms now.
Oh my God.
That's not even an argument. There's like, it's so, okay, I'll buy that. Guess which mouth has less fecal material?
You know what my favorite is skinny white chick at Starbucks in UGG boots with a pit bull. That's my favorite.
That's a uniquely fucking California thing. I'm willing to put money on that.
Yeah, have you seen that when you visited?
No, you wouldn't even let us go to Starbucks because it wasn't fucking actual coffee, remember?
Okay,
no, it's not good coffee.
See?
Oh, also, wait. So
show
you guys
for what the
remember when we got coffee, there was a place that was like across the street that was called BBW, and we couldn't figure out where it was, and it was an old Starbucks. It's a Belgian waffles. No, it's a beer and Belgian waffle. BBW.
Listen, I know exactly that waffle place. I had breakfast there. It's delicious.
Is it good?
Ever. Oh my God. I love Belgian waffles, especially the Liege waffles where they're like fluffy. Like they're like a lighter one.
That's not fucking
You're
delicious.
a cruel, horrible person, just saying.
I'm like, me and Drag will fly over for the day.
Right?
Tasty carbs are on a diabetic. You are a cruel, cruel girl.
Oh, I'm so
You
sorry.
guys will fly to Belgium for waffles.
Not everyone can live in not America.
So, okay. So my question to the people that were upset, saying that people were seriously accusing 62 IQ of bestiality.
It's a joke.
My question is, where's that same outrage with the sexual assault thing that Red put out, like in Cheshire? Like, what?
Right.
Why is there no outrage there? Because that one is actually ridiculous.
Like, I just call it.
Alternately, you could just ask her about baculums.
Because these people think that the internet's a team sport.
You, sir, you've been very mean to 62 IQ ever since she's been on, right?
He's just a contrarian.
Just a contrarian.
That's because he's a misogynist, okay?
That's why he orders. That's why you're a
condescending misogynist prick.
And also, he's you know how I know Sokka is a contrarian? I took him to a brewery that specializes in sausage dishes, and he ordered the burger. Fucking contrarian.
That was a hell of a burger.
Look at that.
I also didn't drink that night. I just wasn't. I had a sale the next morning. I just wasn't feeling it.
I don't know.
Although I did have that sweet ale with when I went out with Holy, which was that was a really good sweet ale.
Yes, we met. Sokka and I met, and he was oh my gosh.
Rotund?
Did he hold the door open for you?
Listen,
Rotund.
I can't slam his rotundness because I'm now rotund. I used to be a skinny bitch, not no more. So like
he's got a glorious mustache.
Yes, a glorious mustache.
I don't
know. But yeah, we had a beer and the misogyny was all over the place, but I handled myself. It was fine.
So Xavier, I have good news. You remember that brewery that had the orange milkshake IPA?
They have the IPA back?
They have a tangerine milkshake IPA.
Oh, you told me about this.
I did? Okay.
Yes.
I went there with Hitler's niece.
So I'm like, the main thing is, how can you ship it to me? That's the main question.
I don't know.
We'll figure out a way.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out how to send Malty some brew from over here. It's just ridiculous to ship it from over here in the UK to the US.
I guess you just gotta visit you got to visit. That's
Yeah,
the
fuck that. Tell him to
solution.
go visit. He needs to
Yeah,
get the hell out
everybody
of this
come
country
visit.
for a while.
Come visit. You know, like I've got a big like my list of people that have met me in person now is about as big as Cheshire's block list.
He's getting there.
Nice.
You know, that's it's one of those things that it doesn't really bother me. Like, I saw this on Twitter the other day. Is that Cheshire has blocked? Now, here's the thing: is like
IQ.
I mean, you're a contrarian. You're used to it. By now.
I'm a contrarian. I'm a contrarian. Now, I didn't know that I was blocked by Cheshire until she started sharing. Like this is how little like fucks I have to give about this person. Is that I didn't realize I was blocked until she started sharing her block list in the external chat of a YouTube video, and like on top of the list, it says like Bart's black. I'm like, what the fuck? The fuck did I do? I mean, this is a list that's supposed to be targeting people that are like harassing and cyber stalking. I mean, that's a list of people for people like guys like Agrippa, people that were normal and then just one day they snapped. You know, but it's just like, I'm like, what the fuck did I do?
Did you ask her how long it took the knot to go down, or what?
Well, no, I mean, I was in the external chat of one video, and they kept on, this is this really like silly thing. It's a really silly thing. It's that they kept on referring. They're talking about these big C's that they talk about. Like clarity, context. Charity. Fuck, I can't remember what the other ones were. Critical thinking. And it's now. And first off, like Drake posted the transcription. Drake posted the transcription. Yes, it is. Drake posted the transcription of Cheshire's take on critical thinking, which was pretty funny. Like I read that, I'm like, wow, that's great.
We need to read that. 13 should read it.
I'll bring it up.
Let 13 read it. He'll die.
Yeah, 13
but
also has the
already
deepest.
done enough of that. I'm on stroke 5. I don't need to die.
Come on, the guy's going on to stroke number 5. Don't make him read that shit.
Yeah, I'm going to read it to him.
But then, so I'm listening to this, and they kept on talking about the principle of charity. They refer to it as the principle of charity. Oh, you have to extend the principle of charity. And it's just like, well, okay, listen, hey, that's cool. You got this, this kind of like conduct for, how you should approach conversations. But, you're lumping together, just the act of being charitable into the principle of charity. But that's not quite what the principle of charity is. Principle of charity is very specific. It's the same thing as saying, that you're going to steel man somebody's argument. You're not going to get hung up on like the semantic details. You're not going to be pedantic about some of these things. It's essentially just to give the most, gracious kind of interpretation of somebody's argument. Okay, arguments. It's in reference to, argumentation. And, that's fine because that is a part of being charitable. But everything that they're describing was like not just the principle of charity. They in fact, they weren't even really mentioning the principle of charity at all in reference to arguments. They're just talking about being charitable. And so I posted them, just like, hey, just a clarification. You should probably just fix this here. And they lost their shit. I lost my mod status, and they like hid me in the live chat so I could think about how naughty I've been or something. And why? Because apparently I'm just a contrarian. And then once I got hit, and it wasn't enough that I just tried to offer a correction. But Cheshire had to lose her shit and call me a misogynistic, condescending prick.
Can I just
one second?
Can we stop for a second? There's people in the chat that are making up names just so they can grab a screenshot, and it's all like to do with I hope X person gets raped. You can fuck right off. Fuck off, buddy.
Let's see if I can find that.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Okay, cool. Already hidden there. I was like, oh wait, I get to do mod things.
There's
it's
like
probably McCrae's people trying to martin them, but
no. Okay, let's don't. You know what? Here's another thing. Okay, I'm done fucking ragging on Cheshire, being an idiot and blocking me for not taking criticism. Here's the other thing, like. Don't give into these conspiracy theories. That it's just like, oh, it's probably McCrae's people over here just doing this stuff or everything. That's just stupid. We know that's stupid. They say that shit about people over here, and we think it's stupid. But here's the truth of the matter: is that in his tenure on YouTube, especially within the last year, Steve has gone around and successfully pissed off loads of groups of people. From people that opposed like the other First Amendment auditors, when he got fucking chewed out of their Discord, to all the people, like the Instagram teen makeup models who, disagree with him and his very charitable understanding of Lily Jean and Laura's situation, to the teen mom group who he fucked over, they made enemies on two different sides of some teen mom 2 feud or some shit like that. And in his mind, then of course, obviously Anti-Ordinary and Unirock and the people that are associated with them. But in his mind, they've all joined some cabal of fucking Nate and Dragnaughts and Fiona, and that they're in our Discords and we're plotting their fucking demise. Here's the simple truth: Steve's pissed off a lot of people, okay? But yet, that's not really good for his narrative.
Sorry.
What he's got to do is he's got to, tie to one group. This group of malicious trolls that he and Reds left 3 years ago, or like, okay, great, that's awesome. You've gone off, you've done this shit. By the way, fucking, like, somebody, if any of Steve's supporters ever watch this, tell him to learn what the fucking narrative is. Okay.
Are you telling Steve to learn how to use the English language? Have you heard him speak? Have you seen him type?
Remember when he thought that
it's
the
always,
leader of
that's
this
just the
whole thing
narrative.
was George
That's just
fucking
narrative.
Weeds, who hadn't been active in the community for like 4 years?
Yeah, like it's always about just like a narrative and stuff like that. He doesn't even know what a narrative is. Okay, because literally everything that he does is a narrative, and he also assumes that a narrative must be a bad thing. There's certain terms out there like spinning a narrative or pushing a narrative, which refer to very specific instances of, stories that people tell. And those ones are generally commonly asserted with, generally negative things. But narratives by themselves is just, it's a story. It's a connecting of events. It's a connecting of facts, towards something. That's it. Like everything that we do,
are you following the outside chat? I was just wondering.
No, I'm not even looking at those.
Okay, they're doing a drinking game that they drink every time you say narrative. You're going to give them alcohol poisoning. Keep going.
Narrative. Don't come at me sideways, bro.
So who's ready for 62 IQ's definition of critical thinking?
Read it. Who's reading it?
I'll read it. Or do you want to read it?
Yay! No.
Okay.
I want to hear you read it.
Critical thinking essentially, let's put it in context that's a little bit less complicated. Let's say you've got a flat earther saying 2 + 2 = 5. They can say 2 + 2 = 5 all day, and if we show them logically why, here's what a number means, here's what the concept represents, here's why your conclusion is incorrect, and here's why it is what it is. You've got the skeptic community. After this explanation about numbers and everything, it means throwing out that number is 4. They just tossing it to the side because, oh well, we're not talking about that, but you're talking about the math. You're just talking about it in more a philosophical way versus math itself. So it's a matter of critical thinking is important, because how are you going to live your life if you don't? It's kind of like common sense. Common sense isn't necessarily very common, but a lot of people, a lot of these principles we are talking about and critical thinking, it takes practice, but it's not common.
Are you sure Ronnie didn't write that script? Holy fuck.
But it's good to practice. This is something one you should practice on your own too. It applies to your real life. You got your boss telling you something like, and you're like, okay, hold on, wait a minute. It might help your day-to-day life to be like, well, hold on, is that what you mean? Or critical thinking like, are you sure that this is a good in that it makes no sense to do things in that way? Who knows, maybe you'll get promoted.
Wow.
Are you sure that script was not written by Ronnie? I need to know.
We are now all dumber after hearing that.
This is a transcript.
Remember when they used to...
Go ahead.
Remember when they used to make fun of Gary because she used to read his comment when he got upset? It would not make much sense. So she used to get on camera on a stream and read his stuff just for a laugh. Sorry, this is much more hilarious.
I have to say, I've made more sense of that while having a stroke.
Yeah, if I may, please.
Jello.
Yeah, hey, what up, Shadow? Hey, thanks for bringing out the squirrel last night. That was awesome. If I may, please, Drag. For God's sake, don't ever do that again.
I know, right?
That's what I called for. It wasn't asked for. No one deserves that. We're not that bad. Are we that bad? You need to punish your audience like that?
Yes.
Would someone like interrupt him about 50 times with some donations so he's like fake upset about, like all right, I just had to pop in. I've been enjoying the watch. What's that?
Quickly, before he leaves, try to nail the Jello to the wall.
You didn't enjoy learning? Aren't you smarter from having listened to that?
No, it's the high.
No, I mean, listen. This is where I honestly do feel. I actually do feel for Steve, because Steve's trying to get out there this point about certain rules for discourse, and he has to listen to, Cheshire say this. And because they don't openly disagree about anything, he's just got to kind of nod and attach his fucking name to that as well. Be like, yeah, that's a good point. Moving on.
Dragnock, hi friend. I've seen some of your episodes
it's the same
on
way
the A
that,
Show.
Like your 4-year-old comes
I was
to do,
Patrick from
comes home from
Ohio
school
on the
with
A
fucking,
Show. Let's debate
like a
evolution.
painting, and it's just like, hey, look at this, and it's like, well, it's a cool tree. No, it's a cow. Like, oh, cool. I'm gonna put it on the fridge anyway.
So Cheshire, in her brilliance in a recent stream, was talking about how we don't like Steve because of his logic. And he's just brought forth so much logic, and this is why we're just upset about it or something. And then in her brilliance, she about a minute later goes, but they're not having a problem with Alex Malpass, and they're not having a problem with Ozzy. I wonder why. Well, the answer is they're not cunts. Okay, that's what the answer is.
It's funny. People should ask, why does Alex Malpass?
No, don't.
That was hot. Can you say that again? That last part.
Come on. Not necessary. Come on, man.
This definition brought to you by the same genius who is ensure that secondhand smoke is a thing.
Oh, what, the Alex Malpass comment?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop being petty. I mean, if he stops name dropping, I'll stop being petty. So, somebody was saying this debate evolution. I don't debate. We can have a discussion.
Can I read? I was going to actually make a comment on that myself.
Go ahead.
The super chat comment is as follows: friend, I've seen some of your episode on the AE show. I was Patrick from Ohio on the AE show at 2:35:25. Let's debate evolution. Actually, we're having fun banging on atheists tonight. Sorry, we're not banging on religious people tonight. Come back another night. Thank you.
So, hit me up at dragnot@gmail.com, and we can sit down and have a conversation, but I'm not going to debate evolution. Yeah. We'll have a discussion about it. I think Mary Carmen said this definition brought to you by yeah. It's just, that kind of shows you the caliber of folks that they're working with there. And I'm like, somebody reached out to me because I seem a little out of character today. Just here's why. I've just stopped kind of giving fucks because I was cool, kind of getting updates from folks, laughing here and there. But when I see people who are vulnerable being attacked, I'm going to say something. When I see people I know who are bitches try to pretend that they're somebody and then attack and target vulnerable people, I'm going to say something. So that's, if y'all are wondering about that, that's why. So the fact that Steve and Rez think that they can do shit like that and say stuff like that, I'm going to hurt your feelings. And I'm going to do whatever I have to do to hurt your feelings within reason, obviously. But I don't see that as too out of character. But you know what? I do need to kind of roll back a little bit because it doesn't need to go there. It really doesn't. I'm just feeling extra petty tonight because reasons, you know.
Rein it the fuck in.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking I should have gone with option two. I should have gone with. I'm more than. I'd love to talk to somebody about creationism because I do write sci-fi.
Yeah. Well, dude's in the chat. You can holler at him. But
nah, fuck that. I really don't give a shit.
Here's my thing. Here's what I would love to kind of see and kind of still wonder about. If this is all drama and if this is just not worth, you know, people's time and they're better than that and they're better than why are they involved in the muck? Why are they still perpetuating stuff? If
because that's where the views are, is in the muck, dude.
Yeah, I'm just like it's why not continue doing the stuff that you claim that you're going to be doing once you get this channel back, so that here's an idea, and I may be crazy, start having what you think are intellectual conversations and hangouts and stuff like that now, and then when you magically get the channel back from Kyle, then just migrate over there, right? Instead of trying to, you know, build up that, because the last thing that he's been doing.
What was it that got the real attention for the amazing atheist? His arguments are shoving a banana up his ass. Let's get real here.
Yeah, I mean, but it's going to be a task and a half because they don't have Arn, they don't have Matt Dillahunty. A lot of the people who were on the show won't deal with Steve, and if Steve did actually have that kind of pull, he'd have them on his channel now. That's my thing, but it's I think it's interesting.
He sure as hell has tried courting them. That but at the Talk Heathen show, were very like, oh look, McCrae's out there, and that lasted all the week before they were onto his dumbass shit.
Yeah, they catch on real quick, but it's just he's toxic, right? And the people he hangs around are just as toxic as him, and so it's just there's a reason why he's relegated to this platform, right? And there's opportunities for him to kind of reach out in other areas, but it's not really garnering him much, right? So I think it's interesting, but it really shows that how he does things aren't really working out the way that he wants, because he would talk all the time about how he could do what Dillahunty does and he could do what Arn does and better. And I'm like, okay, you know, thinking it's like, you know, locker room talk, like, oh yeah, I could, you know,
black people do coke.
You know, but it's like he may seriously have these delusions. Bobby says,
I'm gonna jump into something semi-related. I actually was doing a little bit of that shit the other day. A little bit of that, man. All the timing I've had with having to leave the community and this and that, I never got myself that much of a name in some regards, other than with other content creators. And I was having a little bit of a pity party one day, and I'm like, you know, I mean, Drags and our own atheist experience, and man, had a little bit of envy over that, and like, look at where Arn's managed to get himself, and yada yada yada. And these are people that started with around the time or shortly after I did. And then I thought about it. Like, I don't want to sit there and do constant hangouts, poking fun at G-Man or whoever the fuck. I don't want to bother with that shit. I don't want to sit there and spend all my time hobnobbing and dealing with the topic of atheism. I sure as fuck wouldn't want to go through all the shit that Arn went through with getting that whole thing done with phylogeny challenge and all that shit. This is something I never wanted to fucking do, so why the hell am I being jealous? God damn it.
Yeah.
But these motherfuckers you're talking about, they're just like, oh, I could this. When you sit back and think about it, first off, could you? And second off, would you fucking want to?
Yeah,
this shit takes effort.
That's something that we had a conversation about that. There was a super chat from Bobby. Magnanimous Ozzy smiles upon us all. Oh, I love inside jokes. But it's like I enjoy what they do, but I am just happy to kind of play a role in it occasionally. I wouldn't want to be involved in this. Like some of these cats, they have to. Their financial, all of their finances depend on them being involved in this sort of thing, right? People have to kiss Steve's ass.
The moment your passion becomes work, it's a job, and it sucks.
It is, right? I couldn't imagine having to deal with shit like that. Like, it's stressful. And I can work away. I can walk away. I'm getting sleepy. Walk away from any of this stuff, and I'm not hurt at all. But some of these folks, like if Steve would have to get a job, right? And he's not going to do that. So he has to involve himself more and more in all this stuff and stay up late at night and be on Twitter and try and.
You become a slave to your audience after a while.
You do.
Really fucking do.
You do, and that's why the D. Roy Cruz super chat is at $50. So not doing it, But it's just that's the bid you make, and I don't want that. And when this starts becoming too much, it's like, you know what? Bye bye.
And then you'd have little shits like Steve McRae constantly trying to take you down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all our science educators, all those people, they're always like, getting attacked instead of appreciated. It's really fucked up.
No, I spent 6 months trying to take this YouTube shit seriously, and in terms
Black
of
people do
the
coke.
content thing, I spent like 40 hours on one fucking video series, and got like several hundred views on it. Said, what the fuck did I do this shit for? And then I turned around and I'm starting to look at some of the other content I'm doing. I'm like, why the hell am I doing any of this shit? What? It's just a fucking waste of time, really.
Yeah.
I mean, it just starts consuming all of your time, and you have to put out more and more and more. And then you start feeling like you need to start changing your content because this is what your audience wants, or that's what your audience wants, and you just feel like you're not being genuine anymore.
Yeah. So $3 in Aussie units. Overweight coward. Don't fat shame me. That hurts my feelings. Stop.
Yeah, because Bull didn't get why I called you an overweight coward on the shows apparently, because he's a brilliant man, Bullinator. Let me tell you, what a nice guy Bullinator is. He's so nice. He's the best. He's the bestest.
So Mary Carmen says, Dragnet called this months ago in another video. He said the more Steve McRae pisses off people or ostracizes himself, the more drama he will get into. Oops, looks like someone watched my garage video, or a few of them. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. People are catching on to that. There's quite a few videos. I made quite a few predictions, and I think Unirock watched a few of them. AO probably catch a few of them, but I made several predictions. And there's a few things that I drew people's attention to look out for, and certain people have been noticing. I don't remember the names of those videos, you have to find them, but I'm in my garage and I'm just kind of giving a rundown of things and making certain predictions. And so it's easy. There's actually a pattern to Steve's behavior, and you'll notice around the holidays, specifically around Christmas time, his behavior gets really bad. If I had to guess, maybe seasonal affective disorder. I don't know.
Yeah, seasonal affective is one I would have called on.
It's probably what it is, but he gets really bad around Christmas time. That's when the blow up with all of us happened. And ever since then, every Christmas, it's just gotten progressively worse. Throughout the year, obviously, he'll kind of go out when he needs to feel pampered. That's why he was harassing fucking Bill Ludlow in Bill Ludlow's last few weeks of life. He felt the need to rally the troops, and so that's.
Well, do you know why? You remember why he harassed Bill, right?
Yeah, he needed more people to go and rally against.
Because
fucking,
that's not even it. Like, Bill was making some announcement on his Facebook, and Steve goes, "Oh, can you support me in my fucking war against Kyle?" And Bill's like, "Hey, this isn't the place for that. I'm not about that. That's your personal thing. I'm sorry it happened to you." And Steve flew off the handle because it's me. It's never about the thing that I recall, about Steve is that when I was friends with him is that everything is in light of how good he wants to perceive himself. It's not.
Oh yeah.
It has nothing to do it's like he's trying to prove something. And you know what? Look, I understand having a chip on your shoulder. I have a chip on my shoulder for a variety of reasons. But I also don't have it but at the same time, that's not something I inflict on other people. I want to achieve what I want to achieve because of me, because of something internal in me. But for him, it's all about validation, external validation, and I feel sorry.
And for anyone wondering, yes, there are Pringles on his shoulder.
So I want to address something real quick. 62 IQ said something about a truce around Bill Ludlow being formed. I reached out to Checkers and I said, in light of the strife that's happened in previous deaths and stuff like that, let's agree to kind of put the brakes here on this Ludlow stuff. I'll encourage people as best I can. You can encourage people the best you can. It's not like we're bosses. We all have a mind of our own, but we'll encourage our folks as best as we can to just, put the brakes, because there's a grieving family. We don't want stuff on social media. This isn't cool. And she did her little, you stay in your lane and we'll stay in mine. And she tried to be all like bossy and shit. And I'm just like, oh, motherfucker.
Yeah. Well,
whatever.
I mean, like, can we just be real? Like, she's fucking older than me and living at home, sleeping on a floor, making out and open mouth kissing dogs. Like, come on. Like, is this really their heroine of the fucking community?
Just keep asking her how long it took the vacuum swelling to go down.
No, wait, is she older than us?
The not swelling to
She
go down,
is.
rather.
Yeah. According to her Facebook, she is several months older than me.
So the whole point was I was reaching out for that one incident, for the Bill Ludlow, because you know what? She was a rotten, nasty bitch before he died. And then he happened to die. And she was, treating him like garbage. This newcomer that doesn't know anything in the community. This white trash Canadian princess, right? She thinks she's something. She comes in and she starts belittling a man that is much more smarter, much more valuable of a community member.
Beautiful.
And she starts mouthing off, "Fuck you, you're stupid." Like really.
I don't agree to the truth. Fuck her. I still have messages from Bill Ludlow a week before he died. I was talking to him through all that. I was trying to have him on the Magic Sandwich Show, right? And he was stressed the fuck out. If people didn't know that. And I mean stressed the fuck out.
He was.
And I went on, people who remember, after all that shit blew up, I was like, look, folks, we need to look towards what Bill Ludlow's doing. He's doing a great project. He is a science educator. And he is trying to build something here. So I'm going to start donating to his Patreon. And then that's why I found out that Patreon, for some reason, isn't accepting my credit card. And I had that message that comes over the top of it because it keeps trying. And so then he ends up passing, right? And so, it's just, it's shitty. It's really shitty because I still have those when I click Facebook, I can still see them. And I have to think about that. Yep. And it's just like, fuck her. That's just, if you want to talk about me getting a little upset, that's the kind of shit that really aggravated me.
And then them trolling them with this low-level bullshit that they were doing. Red's like, wonder if Bill Ludlow would like to step up to the plate on my show, or some shit like that. Yeah.
You know what? Why doesn't Redline just step up to the plate and actually get a college degree and prove us all wrong? Right. I would be happy to be proven wrong that he's not a nutless sack of shit who doesn't know anything. I would love to be proved wrong on that point. But the fact of the matter is he's much more satisfied doing geometry for fucking half retarded, excuse me, that's very, very generous, retarded flat earthers. Good, you could do what I could do in 8th grade. That's very impressive. You're a good video maker. That's good for you.
That's an accomplishment when you're inbred.
Yeah.
Look.
I don't know.
I don't know what the relationship with his parents is. Don't want to know. I'm just saying, let's stop with this internet tough guy shit because it's just useless.
But, that's the kind of why? Why was any of that normal? Because I do remember being on that Bill Ludlow thread on Facebook where he was, there was a series that he was trying to do. And I think it was interviewing people who used to be young Earth creationists. And then Steve came and took it over. And I'm like, does nobody see how Bill's like, hey, this is not the place for that. And then it became the Steve show. And then how it's making Steve look. And then it's like, does nobody, are nobody fucking adults? And it's like, are y'all just a part of a fucking cult? Or there's so many questions here. So many questions. And that the fact that I didn't see the folks in Steve Periphery saying something, speaking out, that's, maybe it's just I wasn't paying attention enough, but I just don't find it odd, I should say, that the people without spines aren't going to stand up to him.
Semi-random but related footnote. This is part of why I'm not even attempting to make videos anymore. I'm not even bothering to stream the damn games that I'm running. Because I don't need the bullshit. I don't need the drama. I don't need this kind of horse shit. I have enough health issues without actually risking the stress.
Brian is the same way. Brian hasn't been around for over a year. So
just saying.
Very sick.
On the thought of Brian, I was going to ask you to send nudes at some point.
Yeah.
Of Brian's?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's my laugh.
I can arrange that if you really want them.
Of course not, but I got my laugh. That's what I wanted.
That's good. You have to laugh every day. That's the thing, you know. When
Yeah.
you're sick, you have to try to laugh make a point of it, because some days have gone by when we haven't laughed. Oh, okay, that does it. We're going to find something to laugh about. I got to raise his spirits and mine. Yeah. To keep ourselves going.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah,
know
just
that
to make
you
sure that just let him know that I've requested more nudes of him.
Okay, I will. Tell him
I
that.
get a good laugh from him.
Drag,
Hey, here he comes.
Pull the chat off the screen, please.
Okay. You know that you picked up some of
That's why people are doing that. They're trying to spam you to get you flagged.
Yeah.
Is that it? Oh, I wouldn't even pay attention to it.
I'll do it.
What'd you say, Brian?
I said, I'm not sure she'd let me take him, dude.
Not of me.
Come on, man. More news, man.
He meant of you. You meant of Brian, right?
Yeah, Brian.
Yeah.
News of Brian. Why would I want news
Yeah,
of you? I want news
that's
of
good.
Brian. He's a star.
So there's I'm not sure. Let me refresh it. So I listened to I think most of the Uni Rock and fucking Kyle thing, whatever it is, and
that was a fucking joke.
So I did not hear something. I was waiting. Does he actually physically have the money that he's supposed to be giving Steve?
I don't think he's denying that he owes it. In other words, he didn't pay any of the other guests.
No. It's not that he's denying that he owes it. It's just like now it's just like he's just like, well, until the judge signs an order, because now Kyle's is like, well, I was willing to pay him, but now that it's going to the court and it looks like Steve's having trouble, Kyle believes that Steve's having trouble proving that he's even entitled to any type of money, that he's just going to wait on this, and if something comes down, then he might pay it, or that he might send a letter to the judge or something. That it doesn't. Kyle's skeezy as shit. We all know that Kyle's skeezy as shit. And it's
insanely hard to get money that is based upon a summary judgment anyway.
No, I mean, like, this is the one part that kind of destroys, that destroys kind of like the narrative coming from that side, or the false narrative that comes from the side, is that nobody here supports Kyle. Like, every single person here that in this room, or at least I know most of the people that I've talked to here, like they all agree that Kyle's skeezy. Kyle owes Steve money. That the show, that the non sequitur show at the very minimum was 50-50. And a good argument could be made that Steve did start it, Steve does own all that shit. That Steve might have a larger portion of it, but at the very least, 50-50. Kyle owes him that, and at least access to see how much that show earned and all this other crap. And like the fact that Kyle is still up there playing these fucking games, joining Unirock's channel, and they painting this story, but Steve was just, an asshole, and he was doing other damage, and so, tried to move him out there, and people are just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Kyle's side, we get this. No, who fucking cares? At the end of the day, you fucking owe him money. Get over yourself.
Good rant.
That's what that's kind of what I was listening for. It's just something solid, because he's gonna stretch this out as long as he can. Like it's just to spite Steve. I think this, the investigatory phase that they have to go through to determine damages or whatever. I'm just like, all right, well, if you're doing it just to fuck with Steve, then cool, but it's not helping your image any. So I guess at this point he just said fuck it. There were parts of it that I listened to where I went, okay, yeah, that kind of makes sense, and other parts where I'm just like, sounds like some bullshit, but wait for receipts. I think I mentioned this earlier, where he did admit that there wasn't a lawyer, that I'm like that should have come out way before you got your friends involved. Like that's probably the shittiest part of that. You know, if you lie, well, okay, fine, but then you have all these other people repeating this lie and then hurting their credibility. I think that's where he really fucked up. I do think that he probably was getting harassed a lot because Steve was encouraging people to go out and contact. Where's the money, Kyle? Go. You know, go ask for Kyle where the money is. So like, I do think that people took that and ran with it, but that still is not really an excuse to.
Yeah,
just say,
people were like, what? People were harassing him because he did something that was wrong. Like, I mean, like.
Yeah. No,
he's like, how dare you harass somebody who did some work? I mean, this is the same. I mean, this is the same shit that applies. Like, you know, when people feel like they're being harassed for something that they did, and they call for a stop to that. You know, just like, oh, you know, yeah, of course, you know, I did this stupid thing in the past, you know, but stop harassing me now for it because whatever. I mean, it's a good parallel to the whole like Steve McRae thing there, where it's just like, yeah, he did something stupid with Dave Warden guy. A lot of people called him out for that stuff, and he said some pretty, you know, reprehensible things. In the meantime, he's changed his story and all this other stuff in this defense and all this other crap, you know. But he just doubles down, and then comes out and cries that, like, you know, well, people need to stop harassing me about this. If you keep on bringing this up, it's harassment. It's like, well, no. If people disagree with you, okay, and people continue to point out that they disagree with you on this thing, you know, that's not harassment. Okay. And it's the same thing with Kyle. Kyle did this thing and people keep on disagreeing with the thing that he did. It's not harassment if they keep on pestering him about that. If every single time that Kyle pokes his head out and, you know, tries to do something different and so they say, well, hey, Kyle, where's Steve's money? That's not harassment. If every single time that Steve McRae, you know, pokes his head out there and says, well, Steve McRae, you defended a rapist and said that, you know, that it was actually consensual and all this other stuff. Well, that's not harassment. You know, that's people, you know, still expressing the fact that they disagree with something that you said before in the past. You can't be hypocritical of this, and both of these guys know this. Is that, you know, that if you think that it's okay to do this to one person, but it sucks when it happens to you, you're just being a hypocrite at this point in time.
Yeah, I think that it's fair that people will approach him, right, and accost him and accost Steve on the shit that's fucked up. But I think that there's a line, right? There's a line where people go and tell him to go get A's and get fucked and then go die and stuff like that. The same thing with Steve, where people are getting like deeply personal, telling him that kind of stuff. But
or when people told Phony Beetle, Maniac, and Fiona to get raped and nobody seemed to care, like that's kind of a big deal. Or this other recent one, like, this is not cool. It's never cool.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like the degree in which it happens is kind of what I could see being the case, where you are getting a bunch of messages, and that could lead and say, you know what, let's just fuck it. I'm just not going to do anything. I don't think that's. I understand it, but I don't think that's still an acceptable excuse as to why you just kind of give up and just well, you know, default judgment, whatever. But I've only seen a handful of comments of that nature. I don't know what he was getting inundated with. So it's like, who the fuck knows, right? Hearing it from Kyle makes me very suspect. In general makes me very it's just based on his own admission that he has just lied in the past. I have reason to be very skeptical, because I still have half a mind that, you know what, maybe he's getting some backlash, and that he thought that it's going to die. It's going to go away. He can just continue on with his cooking channel, and no one's going to be leaving him comments and shit like that. And, you know, I don't know. Like, it's really hard to kind of tell, because Steve and Kyle both have been caught up in lies. And one guy insists that you believe him because he has special knowledge of evidence and shit like that, and the other guy, you know, is just trying to pull on heartstrings, and you need to just believe him now. And it's like, why should anyone believe anything either one of you guys says, honestly? because it doesn't come down to size. It come down y'all just not really trustworthy sources of information, and so that it makes it hard for anyone, whether they like you or not, to try and come to any type of conclusions other than to just be incredibly skeptical about everything that you say. So.
Yep, and that's what Fiona's video concluded. Ask for evidence. If don't take anybody's word about it, especially Steve. Ask him for evidence. His claims.
Yeah.
Call him a liar. Don't call him a liar. Just ask him for evidence.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I think that when you hear people making these claims, supposedly Kyle got the receipts from them paying Bully Nader's rent and all this other kind of shit. Okay, man, let's see him. Let's go. You know what you
that's all
did.
bullshit.
You know, you think that's bullshit?
I think I've got good justification for that because, I just don't think that. There is a lot of chances for Kyle to defend himself. There was a lot of opportunities, a lot of places where he could have done all this stuff, where he could have presented all this. And I don't care what kind of headspace you're in or that excuse or anything there. Like, you know what the best cure for being having all these people accusing you of stuff and calling you all these names and all this shit is to clear your name. To show the preponderance of evidence that you have that shows that of that supports your side. Okay, if somebody was accusing me of something grievous, like, oh my goodness, I can't talk anymore. Then grievous. If somebody was accusing me of this, then and it wasn't true, then I would the first thing that I would do is I would immediately show any evidence I had to support this and say, yeah, this isn't true. Especially if it's something that can damage my reputation. And that's the thing with Kyle. Like, who gets accused of something and says, "Well, that's it. You know what? Fuck it. I'm out. I don't have the energy to prove that I haven't done this stuff." That just doesn't make sense. He still could have shut down the channel, clear his name, do that. He could have showed up in court, could have done all this other crap. He chose to do none of that shit. So, not a lot of sympathy for him.
Yeah, that type of behavior is definitely suspect. Like that's something that I was like, oh, well, that's interesting. I didn't expect just a cut and run, because just to extricate yourself from the situation, and then like I mentioned before, leave your friends hanging. Like they still got the fucking bill in hand. Just seemed like such a shitty move, because everybody universally agreed that, trying to boot Steve that way kind of fucked up, right? You know what? He even acknowledges that. But to even fuck over his friends, it's just like you're just going into this self-preservation mode, and it's not helping you at all. But you want people to be sympathetic now, because it's like, I'm listening. Maybe did you guys get the sense that when Unirock is bringing him on, that's just, Unirock is just doing the sympathetic ear, right? He's not really, he's not grilling him, but he's not really asking him or really challenging kind of what Kyle is saying. I kind of got the feeling it's like, this is just the shoulder to cry on, rather than him kind of dig for the truth. Maybe it was just me.
I haven't seen it yet. Fell asleep.
Saka, what do you think?
Well, I thought that definitely he was. It was very softball. Today is a day of softball interviews. Like, like I don't know. It was. There was a lot of times where he was leading him as well, like into like what to say. It's like, oh, that's what I thought as well. That's what I was thinking, And Kyle's response is like, yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, that's something that because I wanted to highlight that I've noticed a bit of that, and it's like I think the best, even if your team fuck Steve or whatever side, whatever, I think that it's best to kind of keep him at arm's length, right? Just for your sake. Because let's go back to when Unirock was on Steve's quote unquote side. If the mistake that you made was getting too attached to the dude that's sitting next to you on that panel, right? Why are you making the same mistake twice, right? Why are you sitting there, softball, kid gloves, not really challenging, and just kind of buddy with him? Like, I got it that you want to kind of be sympathetic towards him, but he is admitting to you right here that he's lied already, right? It's just like, if you want to appear as being more impartial, if you want to appear to be more objective, then that has to show in how you handle these type of situations. And then that's why I think it is necessary to point out that sort of stuff. And you can do it respectfully, right? If I don't know, like, I'm not in Unirock's head. I'm not, if that's, maybe that's the direction. That's the direction he gives me. The impression that he gives me is that that's who he's trying to be, right? He's just reporting on stuff. He's giving his opinion, and he's just trying to get straight to the facts. Well, that would be better done if you were to actually keep these guys at arm's length. That includes me. That includes anybody, right? Because just being that sympathetic ear is not how you do that, essentially.
Well, this is the this is how, like, you end up with there's this stupid mentality where it's like that whole enemy, my enemy is my friend thing, and right. you see this all the time. Like this is like when you're going to start cozying up like to Kyle because you have a problem with Steve. Yeah, that's a little silly. That's what kind of it looked like with the interview with Unirock. But like, you know what? It's the same thing. Like with take again, like the comparisons are just amazing. Like why does Steve have a relationship with like Instagram makeup tutorial people or teen mom groups? It's because within them he found allies against whatever the fuck the crystal ball woman.
Katie.
Yeah, Katie.
Yeah.
Like, these are the strange bedfellows that come from that whole my enemy is my friend thing. And you can see who these people are tied up with in these groups, and it's ridiculous that they're doing this shit. But they also keep like the same mentality too. Like when they refer to like Nate or Fiona or Exiled, they still think that there's this conglomerate of fucking like this what is it, the secret cabal of trolls that are all working together. Like fuck, sorry. Like I've talked to Anti Ordinary a couple times. I sent her a couple DMs. Like, not a huge fan. The Unirock. Hey, great. You know what? Like you're not that. I don't even know what to think about Unirock. I thought that when he was on Steve's side, I thought he was just honestly an idiot. And then he comes on and he's like switches sides, and he's trying to side with people like Nate and all these other people. And it's funny because like he's still an idiot. He hasn't gotten smarter. Like and he thinks that because he's switched sides now that he's found some type of allies in these groups of people that also now share like the same feeling that he has towards Steve. But it's not a fucking alliance. It's fucking silly.
And that's kind of what bothers me about a lot of this is that it plays into, here we go, narrative. It plays into that Steve narrative that there's secret. What's up?
No, just reminding them to drink.
Right. Yeah. So it plays into that, right? And I think that if we're going about this in a certain way, like there is it acts in concert with one another. The disdain that Unirock now has for Steve, and the kind of the vengeance that Kyle wants, and of course the comeuppance that Katie's wanting, and whoever else, right? And so everybody is now against Steve, and so Steve can just lump everyone in the group and all that cool shit. But that's not how shit actually works. It's because then it gets tied to me somehow. And I make a drama video about this shit once a month, maybe once every other month. And then I throw shade every so often towards specific folks, but I don't sit here and actually take the time to talk about these folks. I don't. Even when I'm in my own Discord.
Just because a whole bunch of people have determined that you're a douchebag does not mean they formed a secret cabal.
No, not at all. Like, there's a whole bunch of people in my Discord. Yes, I do have a Discord. That's what y'all are hearing and seeing. There's a whole bunch who don't want anything to do with this. There's those of us who disagree all the time on how certain other folks even handle this shit, right? So I'm not over here giving fucking marching orders, and nobody is. People are acting on their own accord. My Discord is not there to worship me. It's a joke. The Dragoon Syndicate, the Cabal, all of it is an inside joke because one idiot decided that it was a real thing. And so my Discord is a refuge for people from the actual old G+ Great Debate community. That's all that it is.
No, you're telling me that the instructions that are told to me every single morning in my head aren't you?
I guarantee they're not me.
Okay.
Okay,
we just had to clarify that you're not.
Treacherous termite, you must meet Rusty Bunny under the 9th Street Bridge at noon before the cock sucks your... I don't know. I've lost it.
Yeah.
Never mind. I forgot where I was going with that.
Just had to clarify, make sure Drag wasn't psychic and he wasn't beaming instructions to people's heads.
No, because that's evidently a thing that people believe. So,
you know what? Everybody needs a boogeyman. That's just what it is. Everybody
2:47 and
Messenger
53 seconds every
reveal?
day. We all stop moving and get our secret instructions from Drag.
Messenger reveals told me that my issues with Steve were all because Drag told me to have issues with Steve.
Yeah.
Drag is telling me that I'm very tired and must sleep. So good night.
All right. See ya.
Good night. And give Brian a hug for me.
I will. Thank
That part's
you.
serious.
Back at you.
Yeah,
Really.
like no,
Miss
Messenger
you.
reveals like stirring shit. Like that's I've seen some of his screenshots. He's stirring shit again. He's bored. But no, it's interesting because half the time I'm in a gaming chat and I don't even really want to hear about Steve. But like it gives him a nice boogeyman, the big old bad Dragnot, who honestly is just amused by the shit. And that adds something. But he reminds me of G-Man. Yes, I am comparing Steve to G-Man. They both have come up with these wild conspiracies about how I control people or how I influence people, when this is entertainment for me. This isn't my life. Unlike Steve, I'm not financially dependent on this. It doesn't matter. If this channel goes away, I don't give a shit.
Actually, out of curiosity, have you ever played Black Desert?
No, I keep seeing stuff about it because it got ported to, I think, consoles, but no, I have not.
Yeah, if you end up taking a look at it at some point, let me know.
Okay.
I actually can play one of the characters in. Hey.
The Division 2 is on sale right now from the Ubisoft store for 85% off.
I'm like me and Drag have it for Xbox.
Not even turned on.
By the way, whoever Ed Patui is on Twitter, besides you being a complete idiot, I do want to address something. He's like, oh my gosh, all these threats going to Tesh and Moon. And so I responded back. I said, months ago, someone wrote Fiona and Phony and said the same shit. By the way, one of your main players hearted it. It was wrong when it was said to Tesh, so it should be wrong when it was said to Fiona too, right?
Of course not.
And then the response back I get is, see, that's the problem with you flying pieces of fuck shittery. Even in today's stream, Steve openly denounced such actions and made it public that if anybody did such actions, he would sever ties with them. Well, that's great. It took him how many months and how many people that he knows personally to heart that nonsense before he actually says something like that? I just find it fascinating. Like, I'm just like, you know what? I agree. It's rotten. People shouldn't threaten people, and it's on both sides. I'm just fascinated though. That
No.
now
See,
it's a big deal.
No. If the person's me or Sokka, please threaten. We're waiting for the good ones.
Oh my god! Right? Like,
and again, like this is. What do you mean?
I've been
both
told
sides?
that like I should be stoned to death from crazy Christians. I mean, like I get threats.
And I am suffering from massive envy. I never get the good threats. I always get the shitty ones, like "I'll fucking beat you to death in your sleep" or some shit like that. I want something good and creative. Damn it.
Yeah, the I hope you get raped one is something that I've gotten a few times. Like it's insane. Like you get these weird threats and you're just like, okay, all right, psychopath,
It's
and
dumb and
you
unimaginative, you know? I mean, a
report and
nice
block.
creative threat would be good for a change, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it just adds to the narrative, Trink, about because there's going to be crazy folks who do shit. I try to keep that to a minimum because I hope that the people who watch my channel or are a fan of me or whatever know that type of shit's unacceptable, and I shouldn't have to say that.
I'm like, if you want to send death threats, send them to me.
Yeah, oh no, this guy loves them.
And for God's sake, make them creative. Don't just simply sit there and like, oh, we'll fucking kill you or some stupid shit like that. We want to hear about like the graphic stuff. Like, I want to take a boat anchor and shove it up your ass and drive it down the street at 90 miles an hour in my pickup and watch your body flop around until you get the idea.
I remember the first time that somebody referred to me as sock a cunt. And I'm like, that's good. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Cunt. I like that.
Yeah, it's just I was like, man, why did I think of that? They just drop the O. I'm like, that's cute. I really like that.
Suck a cunt. Cool.
I know. It's just if I wasn't afraid of just like my channel getting completely demonetized, I was actually going to change my name to that for.
That'll work. Yeah. So. Yeah, folks, that's your daily or nightly dose of nonsense. That's some of my thoughts on the stuff that's going on. I'm keeping all of you fuckers at arm's length, just so you know where you are with me. I don't.
Okay, Spackle, come on. Why did you time out Cookie? She timed out somebody who has a legitimate question in the external chat.
I didn't even see it. I got restream up. But
it's a
legitimate question.
The other day, I caught my girlfriend looking at another man's speedo peen while at the swimming pool. What should I do?
Oh man, someone made a Twitter account called Steve McRae's. Oh, that's fucked up. Yeah, the
answer to that question is bring a ruler next time you go.
That stuff is just designed to do a screenshot report shit. Like it's just ridiculous. None of that shit.
That shit needs to be recorded.
It's a good question.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bring a tape measure next time.
Is that 13 Heathens? I haven't talked to him in like a year and a half.
All right, folks, time to go.
Time to log on.
I do not exist. I'm a figment of your imagination.
All right, folks, thanks for watching. I'll do a G-Man stream probably tomorrow. It's time to go night-night.
Oh, sorry, Drake, before you log off, what are you going to do if G-Man actually leaves YouTube? Is this truly the end of the Drake on Silver channel?
No, well, he only put his channel on visible. He didn't actually delete it. I've always had a contingency plan, and you will find out, sir.
Looking forward to it.
I actually put all my shit on my old channel down. I gotta put it back up at some point. For some reason, they thought all my videos with puppets were for kids. Stupid YouTube.
So, why do you think that I introduced y'all to D-Roy Cruz way back when?
How you been, 13? It's been a long time.